Now that the House has overwhelmingly passed a standalone repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, now the Senate has clearly got more than 60 votes in support of repeal. In our fourth story in the countdown, the actual end of our own government's blatant institutional discrimination and federally mandated lying on that score is near, but only if certain Senate Republicans are unsuccessful at running out the clock. At first blush, it looks good because the House's standalone repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell means that it will not get slowed down by the mammoth defense authorization bill, and it proceeds to the Senate under special rules, meaning it has to get through only one cloture vote, not two. And in the Senate, as of today, 4 GOP senators have said they would support the standalone repeal of DADT, along with 57 Democrats. That makes enough to overcome the filibuster. But time is running out, and tonight, word that Majority Leader Harry Reid will file for cloture on both Don't Ask, Don't Tell and the DREAM Act, meaning that votes for both could come as early as Saturday. DREAM Act not expected to get through the House, certainly. Earlier today, a champion of repeal, Senator Joe Lieberman, had called on Senator Reid to give the repeal of DADT priority over the START treaty, which he says could be ratified next year.
We can't let the clock to be used as an excuse or people's desire to get home. I know everybody wants to go home for Christmas, but most people work up until the day before Christmas. If we stay here till Thursday, let's say, and we leave on Thursday, that gives plenty of time to get the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell done and maybe do the START treaty as well.
But Senator Jim DeMint, the Republican of South Carolina, wants to run out the clock, his term, on START, which could imperil that and anything else for that matter, because when you hear him say the word read, he actually means read out loud slowly.
And so we were going to make them read the bill, but then they decided they didn't want to do that, so they gave me an agreement to burn a whole day. I'm just trying to run out the clock on this bad legislation so that they can't do any more damage before the reinforcements get here in January.
Let's turn now to Congressman Barney Frank of Massachusetts. Thank you for your time tonight, sir.
Glad to be here.
The good news part of this first, is there actual, really depend upon it, kind of hope that this could get done this year?
Oh, absolutely. And Joe Lieberman deserves a lot of credit for this. Joe Lieberman told Speaker Pelosi, Majority Leader Hoyer, that if we were to send over Don't Ask, Don't Tell separately, we passed it as part of the overall bill, that he believed he could get through both the procedural hurdles and get enough votes. But we did that. We did it to be cooperative. There's been for one of the rare examples of good House-Senate Democratic cooperation. Interestingly, that the bill on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, we got 25 more votes, actually 35 more votes for it this time than we did last time. The report, the momentum is on our side. And Senator Reid, as you noted, has filed cloture, we're told tonight. The vote will be Saturday. The Republicans had also, some of them had been hiding behind the argument that we had to do the tax bill, we had to do the funding of the government. Those will be out of the way. So I am confident now that we have it. By the way, Speaker Pelosi and Majority Leader Hoyer were also clear. We were not prepared in the House to pass the rest of the defense bill until the Senate had moved to get cloture on Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Now the way is clear for both of those to happen. And can I just say, by the way, you quoted Jim DeMint, this of all the phony Republican arguments, one of the phoniest is, oh, well, we shouldn't be doing this in a lame duck session. We shouldn't do anything important in a lame duck session. If you believe that, then impeaching the President of the United States is unimportant because the Republicans did that in the lame duck session of 1998.
Of course, impeaching the president in 1998 was unimportant, and I'm sure he doesn't feel that way, but it sort of circles back on itself.
Exactly right. But we do have the votes for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Frankly, some of the Republicans, I think, were trying to hide behind it. Some were legitimate. In any case, yes, there are, as you counted up, we think there were 63 senators. More than 4 had said they were going to vote for it. All but one Democrat, Senator Manchin of West Virginia, have committed. The Democrats have been very good on this. There have been partisan differences. And I want to give credit to Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer, working with Joe Lieberman. They said to us, if you give it to us in this form, it will make it easier. And we did that. And we've held up on the defense authorization. There's kind of a dance going on. Once the Senate passes cloture, then I will be very supportive of the rest of the defense authorization bill being voted on. I'm not going to vote for it. It's too much money. But I think we are overwhelmingly likely now to see the end of this terrible discrimination. The other argument they made as well, it will be a distraction. The notion is that, and it's really odd, you have these brave young men and women, and they can stand on the firing line, they can be shot at, they can see their best friends blown up, but the sight of a lesbian will disarrange them and freak them out. I think they underestimate these young people, and we're going to finally get to, the distraction is the policy, not getting rid of it. The distraction is the military people who are serving, who have to look over their shoulders. It's the money that's spent, the good people are thrown out. We're going to end the distraction of this bigoted policy.
When the House passed its repeal yesterday, the White House put out a statement that applauded that. If it is ultimately repealed, does that mean the president's handling of this was successful? Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, with some urging. I will tell you that I was a little disappointed. I have to tell you, on the Monday after the election, I spoke to the White House, the Chief of Staff, to Senators Reid and Durbin and Schumer, and said, look, and Senator Levin, who's been very good on this, Carl Levin, we've got to get this done. You know, there were a number of good things to do, and you sometimes can't get them all done. But yeah, the president, his energy after the election was very much there. And by the way, to give him credit, he also, I think, was ready to say he had been defending this in court because presidents are supposed to defend laws. But he and I had spoken, and some others, if in fact this had been filibustered, or if it still is, I don't expect it to be, then I believe he has no longer any obligation to defend it in court. If he's against it, the House majorities voted against it, an overwhelming majority of the Senate votes against it, the administrators don't want it, that's lost its legitimacy. And he's made that clear. So yeah, the president was very helpful in this.
Do you expect that to happen? In fact, if let's put those two unlikely possibilities together, that there is some sort of stall that works in the Senate, do you think that the president will actually do that in short order?
Yes, he will. He will drop his defense of it because the argument has been, well, you know, you're the president and you have this obligation, and I think that's generally right. We don't want the presidents picking and choosing what laws they defend in court. But this one will have lost its legitimacy, its moral legitimacy, its majoritarian claim. It won't be a case anybody could argue with the courts overturning the will of the voting public. The voters, through majorities in the House and the Senate, have said no more to this. But I am confident, and I give the president credit, Joe Lieberman, Harry Reid, and great leadership from Steny Hoyer and Nancy Pelosi. I am overwhelmingly confident we're going to get rid of this.
Two chances to make one. It sounds good. Representative Barney Frank, thanks for your time, as always, sir.